Namo Shakya Munaye Buddhaya. Dear respected Thầy, dear monastics, dear beloved Sangha, dear Sangha, are you able to hear me okay? Today, Brother Pháp Xứ is giving the Dharma talk. My name is Sister Bội Nghiêm, and Sister Trăng Mai Tráng will be your translators. So we invite you to please sit relaxingly, smile, relax your whole body, so that we can allow our body and our mind to be calm and still. Then we can practice to be aware of our in-breath, out-breath. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Today, we are sitting here at Deer Park Monastery. Today is February 4th, 2024. This morning, I asked permission to share with you on the topic of knowing love, my heart is at ease. It's very simple, right? As long as we know how to love, we can feel at peace, at ease right away. Can you read this? Knowing love, my heart is at ease. Very simple, right? Know how to love, knowing how to love, our hearts are at peace. Who do we love so that our hearts can be at peace? The answer is love ourselves. When we love ourselves, we have 4 requirements. The first one, we need to have these 4 requirements. The first one is to live mindfully so we can create miracles. Live mindfully so we can create miracles, wonders. The first miracle of mindfulness is to be truly present. Dear Sangha, the practice of being fully present, is it easy? then perhaps we can look into this statement to be fully present, into this practice to be fully present in our daily life. Majority of us, we often drown ourselves in the past. We are fearful about the future, and we also lose ourselves in the present moment. Hardly anyone can dwell peacefully in the present moment, every second, every minute. Very difficult. And when we are truly present, it means we are able to restore our ability to get in touch. For example, when we walk, we know that we are able to get in touch with each step. Our footsteps are imprint on the earth. Also, when we eat, we have the ability to be fully present with each bite. When we sit with our beloved ones, each moment sitting next to our beloved ones is a chance for us to be truly present for them. Why? Why the practice of being truly present is so important. Now let us look back at the society these days. Majority of us are what? Falling into that inner strength is getting weaker. Energy, our breath energy, our breathing is very shallow. The pressure from workplace, and we receive a lot of pressure from the mind. Our breathing is no longer calm, peaceful, and this can make us irritate easily. Add to that, our inner strength is weaker. Why? Because majority of us, we pay attention to the external so much. Young people looking for love from the outside, look for position, fame. No one can actually stop. We are rich, now we want to be richer. We have this enough land already, we want to have more land. We don't have the ability to stop and be fully present. That's why we are getting weaker and weaker. Dear community, when we get weaker, what illness do we have? Our breath energy, our physical health, and our mental health will be weaker. Stress, depression, despair, all this manifest. Depression. Depression is the second leading illness in the world. And so, when we practice to be truly present each minute, each second, then we give ourselves the opportunity to be healed from the illnesses because we have the ability to come back to ourselves fully each moment. Just like when we are sitting here or later on, wherever we sit in this world, when we sit down, right away we smile gently. We relax our whole body. We practice knowing as we breathe in, we know we're breathing in. Breathing out, we know we are breathing out. Breathing out, we know we're breathing out. And this is from the teaching of the Buddha, from full awareness of breathing, or the 16 exercises of breathing. And when we are fully present to what is there, then that belongs to us, and we can nourish that moment. We nourish what is there. The sentence knowing to live mindfully, to create to create miracles. We can create many miracles. Later on, when you have time, please read the book The Miracle of Mindfulness, written by our teacher. They taught us the basic practices of mindfulness so that we have the ability to establish a body and a mind, dwell freely in each moment, so that we can look deeply into things to overcome any of our attachment or entanglement. Another miracle is many miracles, but I will only offer you 3 miracles. The second miracle is connect deeply with our ancestors so that we can have more faith and confidence in ourselves. We lose self confidence and we lose faith in other people. That's another illness. So connect with our ancestors to have more confidence and faith in ourselves. Dear Sangha, have you ever watched the movie The Tiger King? It's a cartoon movie. Because one time, as I was looking at YouTube, I was not looking for movie, just it popped up in the monastery. We are encouraged that we need to use the Buddha's teachings to nourish our body and mind. Thay's teaching to help cultivate peace. But accidentally, I was looking for a Dharma talk and a movie popped up. Yeah. Maybe conditions are sufficient, so I get to watch this movie. And so in this movie, Tiger King, perhaps you know Simba. Oh, the Lion King. The Lion King. Simba. The Lion King. There was a point Simba fell into the situation of not having faith in himself to realize what his dad's wish to bring peace into the kingdom. But with the guidance of a monkey. Do you remember that? What's the name of the monkey? Then Simba was able to run after this monkey to the river, and he sat very still on that river, looked down, and he saw his image under the river. And for the first time, he was able to get in touch with his father inside of him. That movie, The Lion King, is very nourishing. Look at ourselves deeply, clearly, to see our dad inside of us, or our parents inside of us, and then suddenly, on top of the sky, the Lion King appeared, his dad, Simba's dad. And in that dialogue between the father and the son, the dad says to Simba, Simba, you must know who you are and who, and who are you and whose child are you? When that sentences were mentioned, we need to ask ourselves, who am I? Whose child am I? The sentence, who are you? Later on, I will share. Whose child am I? If we are American, then we have a beautiful ancestor that is President Lincoln, who ended slavery. That is a great act from our ancestor. If we are Vietnamese, Then who are our ancestors? Many. We have the King Trần Thái Tông, a king who practiced 6 times a day, a king after he take care of his work for his country at night, he would pick up a sutra book to read the teachings of the Buddha to nourish himself. A king who used the wishes of his people to become his own wish, to take the heart of his people to be his own heart. And so when we get in touch deeply with our ancestors, then right away we know how we should live a life. Because the path our ancestors already created. And another dialogue in The Lion King between Simba and his dad, the image of the Lion King about to disappear. Then Simba said, "Dad, please don't leave me." At that time, the Lion King replied, "Simba, I have never left you and I will never leave you." Do you remember this in the movie? Usually, when I watch something, there are beautiful dialogues, I memorize them. Or when I read a poem, it's beautiful, I need to memorize them. Because why? These statements really nourish me. As long as we sit down and let them come up, and right away they can give us strength, give us a direction, a clear direction. Do you consider those sentences nourishing? Simba, I have never left you and I will never leave you. In Vietnam, we have a sentence: wherever the descendants are, the ancestors are there. This is something that Thay reminded us so that the children, the descendants, always remember our roots. Remembering our roots will let us know who we are. When we get in touch with our roots, then at the same time, we are also get in touch with the source of insights and wisdom. If we lose our roots, then we lose ourselves. And if we lose our roots, then right away we have mental illness. And so when we sit still like that, to establish our mind and body there, to get in touch with our roots, it's very nourishing. The third miracle is to overcome our desire. Overcoming your sensual desire. Liberate yourself from the sensual desires. Nisanga, is this something easy for us to do, to practice? Overcoming, liberating ourselves from the sensual desire. I like poetry. So is there a word that touched my heart? Then right away poetry appears. The word shy here means drunk. There is this Zen master. His name was Hyun Kwang, the third patriarch of bamboo forest tradition. This is his poem. The rain stopped. The source becomes still. The forest becomes still. Okay, I hope you repeat the poem. So this poem is translated by Thay. Thay translated this poem. We look again, and majority of us as monastics, if we don't have this inner strength, then very easily we can be pulled away by the sensual desires, power, fame, wealth, sex. How can we overcome them? Majority of us, especially those who have suffered on the path of seeking after them, we see clearly that the reason why we chase after them is because we label them, we give them qualities that we don't really have. For those who have fallen and injured ourselves, we have given them labels. We label them values that they don't really exist. We think that they will give us freedom, peace, but they don't give us that. They only, these values are there only when we are able to overcome them, when we drown ourselves in these sensual desires. Then, when there's power, then we use that to help people, to the country, to our people, to the world. When we overcome our desire, then when we have money, then we have a chance to help those less fortunate. We need to liberate ourselves in order for us to help others. If we drown ourselves into them, then we will not be able to help others. And in the Sutra Discourse on Youth and Happiness, the Buddha taught in the happiness of sensual desire, the sweetness is very little, but the bitterness is a lot. The pleasantness is very little, but the misfortune, the damage is great. When we learn the sutra, if we are concentrated enough, when we have this full concentration into each word, then these words will affect our mind and help our mind to be very bright for us to see something. If we read the sutras and our mind is not concentrated, then it's just only a form. That's why we need to concentrate ourselves when reading the sutras, the Buddha's teachings.
chính họ. Đa phần chúng ta chỉ sống trong cái hai cái phạm trù thích và ghét, chứ chưa nói đến tình thương. Tại vì người đó nói mình nghe nó vừa lỗ tai, người ấy làm vừa ý của mình, cho nên mình thích. Nếu mà ngược lại thì mình ghét. Chỉ còn thương thì nó khác. Thương là chấp nhận người đó như chính người đó, dù người đó như thế nào.
Testing. Testing, can you hear now? Oh, perfect. Thank you. He has said last, normally we have lived in the two different areas of likes or dislike. But love, true love, requires us to accept our beloved for the way they are, and we accept ourselves for who we are. That is considered true love. Have you ever read the testaments in Christianity? If you remember this sentence, if we are here, if you haven't, any of you knows that you have never made any mistakes in your life, then you can pick up this rock and throw at that lady. If any of you have been perfect without any mistakes, so the Jesus, the God's, the language in the Testament from Jesus, that so it's just to say that we are very human. We have many mistakes. And so therefore we accept for who we are. The acceptance there, it will give us peace. And our mind and body will be still, and we will have clarity to make things better. So in order for our love to have quality, so I would like to invite you to each day in the first moment of waking up, how you can arrange your day. Maybe you can sit for half an hour or 15 minutes. What for that for is to increase our inner strength, our inner peace, so that we can use it for the whole day. We can just be there and be present for ourselves and be still. And once we have the inner strength and peace due to the sitting early in the morning like that, therefore you can start reading this discourse on youth and love in our daily chant. And in that sutra, it said, praying for everyone and all peace, all species to live in love and peace. The mind is still and free. May no one belittle anyone. No one may no one be wish for anyone to suffer, just like the love, like the mother, um, to protect the only child, her only child, just like that, we give rise to our compassion and love for all species and all people. And once we read that, our mind will be cultivated in the loving energy, compassionate energy, thus giving us that loving energy, compassionate energy to radiate out for all of our beloved ones and for ourselves. When love is there, our look will be kinder, our mind will be more embracing. That's in every morning, okay? Every night before you retire to go to bed, you can do the same, because the whole day we were not able to be there for ourselves, so we have made many mistakes throughout the day. But before bedtime, we can practice for 15 minutes or so. Let go of games or internet, Facebook, TikTok. We can let go of those things, because those are the things that will weaken our inner strength. To choose to sit down and to nourish our inner strength, because our loved ones need our inner strength, need our peace. So we make an agreement. If with wherever your religion is, you can make an agreement with God or Buddha. So in at that particular time, I vow to aspire to sit, dear God, dear Jesus. At that hour, I will lock up my devices, electronic devices, and lock them up, so that I could be fully present for myself, and to come in touch with your words, your teachings, to submerge myself, my heart, in your teachings, in order to nourish me, dear God or dear Buddha. If we all could do just that, all of our illnesses, we can rejuvenate and we can recover and heal truly. The third part. Knowing how to shatter all these views about self. That could consider like shatter it or eradicate. Dear Sangha, this is the most difficult practice, because majority of us falls into self like egoistic perception, view of ourself being the number one, being the best, being the most important one. No one could exceed that. We the most beautiful, blah blah non-stop about egoistically. It is really manifested. You can see in the like the pride. If somebody has a higher nose, they can be very proud, or they can have a beautiful smile, they can be proud. Or we are the disciples of the great being, like our teacher or Dalai Lama, we can be a bit proud. So that is the very human. Is one of the pop, there's routine problems of being human. Um,
Buddha có cho mình một câu nói tràn đầy sự cảnh
in,
giác.
in the sutra, is the Buddha has given us a diamond sutra or something, the ability to cut through the self perception about self.
Đó là câu
This is sentence. This is because this is therefore that is.
cái này
This
không
is no, therefore none of the other. So the interbeing, interrelatedness, because of this, therefore we have that. So now look back at ourselves. If there's no ancestors of our ancestors, there would be no we wouldn't exist without our parents. If there's no Mother Earth, of course there would be no us. Without our teachers wholeheartedly for students, we wouldn't be there as their students. If there's if it wasn't for these donors, benefactors for this meditation hall, we wouldn't be sitting here today. Only simply that awareness will shatter your view about yourself. This is because of that is. That is because this is. If there's no forest, there would not us here. If you cut off all of those sources and those factors, of course there's no way we would exist. Do you see? Whenever you see this, you have this view, this awareness, it gives rise to the mind of gratitude. Grateful to the Mother Earth, the forest, the water, all beings, because our existence is dependent on all these hundreds and thousands, millions of these factors. So thus, we need to protect those factors in order to protect ourselves. So to love ourselves is to love others. And the minute you give rise, your mind has the mind of not loving others, then you already suffer. So in order to love ourselves, we have to love others.
và cái thứ
The
tư
fourth part,
cái thứ tư chính là biết quán chiếu vô thường.
to contemplate on impermanence, the nature of impermanence, in order to live wholeheartedly, fully every moment. Contemplate on impermanence in order to live beautifully each moment.
Thưa đại
Dear
chúng,
Sangha,
khi mà
when we remind ourselves about impermanence, I immediately remember two sentences from the King Trần Thái Tông in the book of 6 courses a day of meditation. He said 2 sentences like this.
công danh cái thế, chẳng qua chỉ là một giấc mộng dài.
The theme,
Phú quý kinh người, khó tránh vô thường hai chữ.
so fame and fame and wealth are the worldly fame
Tức là quán
are
vô thường.
impermanent.
Nó đòi hỏi cái tâm của mình nó phải rất là yên.
When we contemplate on impermanence, it requires our mind to be truly still and at peace, so that when we come in contact with impermanence, we're able to look deeply into ourselves. So, because truly you look deeply, you see many of our accidents we would never foresee. Like now we are sitting here together, and then sometimes and then on the way home someone may encounter illnesses or accidents, so maybe this is the last moment we ever sit together, so we would never know ahead of time that this is the last time we are here for our the beloved ones, the wonderful people, or simply sit with our mother. We would never know that this would be the last lunch we sit with our mother, because our mother or father this afternoon could be leaving the world because of their illness. So this allows us to treasure, to appreciate others and appreciate ourselves, our youth, not to waste our time in all the unnecessary, unbeneficial things. So meditation is to really cultivate ourselves, our present, our concentrated present in the moment, to know and to be aware that what we have been doing up to now in our life, for the last 20 years, the last 30 years, what have we done? Or the last 40 years of our lives, and all the things that we've done in those years, have it helped us to cultivate the inner strength, to widen, to increase our love, to beautify the meaning of our life, to beautify our life, gives us meaning to our life. Did those years, what we did we do anything to help those things? Because I know in Vietnam, I have visited many temples and pagodas. I know many of those monks have been donated by the benefactors and donors. They're giving their beds, and like I asked how much. It's like so expensive. It's over 1 million Vietnam dong or something. And honestly, at Deer Park, we all make our own bed box. The monks and nuns make their own bed box from the pieces of woods. And if you convert it to Vietnamese unit of money, is only a few thousands or million dong, which is nothing compared to billion or something, because but Vietnamese dollars money is very little. So if you see the monks' bed box here, many of you may give rise to the mind of wanting to donate a better box, a better bed. And do you think we should receive? Because the Buddha has taught that our life is a life of simplicity, in order to invest our lives into what is truly the important in our monastic life. But to me, in my opinion, I should receive the money, not receive the luxurious bed. I'm willing to take the money in order to help the poor, the unfortunate, the destitute. We take that money that they donated in order to do good cause, to bring it, to cultivate, to build sangha, to help the poor. If we all So we have to remember what the king has taught. Our material wealth can be humongous, but it can can vanish in a moment of earthquake or anything due to the law of impermanence. You see, in the countries at war, all these wells, the mansion, the palace can be all gone in a moment, be pulled into the water. The king can be at the height, at the peak of their time, but he even reminded the world to remember, don't dwell into the material wealth, in order to invest our time into what truly fundamentally beautiful and meaningful in our lives. So even the king at his peak, he can remind us to remember but impermanence and to appreciate. Remember the Diamond Sutra that I mentioned about this is because of that is many people have told us to pierce something through our palms and our hand in order to remind ourselves every time we read those two sentences about interbeing. But I advise you not to have the piercing or tattoo. But if you could, because tattooing can be dangerous, health hazardous, but if you could do something like deeply in the heart, can you have something pierce through your heart? These insightful teachings, how can you pierce through your heart and have it embedded, these teachings, into our core of our heart in order to give rise to this understanding and the insight in our life. So in the sutras, whatever that inspire you, you can feel the source of recovery and healing, and just don't use it the external form of tattoo, but do something internal, like you can have it submerge into your heart. So lately in the Southeast Asia, the Lunar New Year is considered the most festive time, and they celebrate it grandiosely. They bought lots of beef, cows, chicken, and beer and wine, you name it. But in the temples, monasteries, always tofu, 7 courses of tofu. And sometimes we have the like a Vietnamese style of spinach or watercress. If you have this long, elongated kind of watercress, morning watercress, you can bring it to Deer Park. This year, 2024, I would like to invite us all together to celebrate our new year in such a way that to strengthen, solidify our heart and root deeply in our ancestral heritage. Let me ask some of our friends here. They told me like what, like tens of millions of Vietnamese perhaps money dong in order to buy the bottle of famous wine or something. And if I know, I would reprimand and say, don't, please try, don't go traveling and tour too many places. Why don't we save money to build the bridges from the remote towns, and to rebuild the home for the shelters for the homeless or the poor, the destitute, the unfortunate ones. So if we hold the money and we wish, we give rise to the mind like the preparation to go buy many bottles of wine, of world-renowned wine. But I suggest you use that money. Maybe you can consider buying tea. Tea is cheaper and is more zen. The more we drink, the more awake we're gonna become. And when we are awake and awake, we are able to speak words of loving words and constructive words and positive. And so sometimes, like the wines over million dong can be finished in one morning. But you see, half of that amount, or even a portion of that amount, you can buy tea, but it lasts us 3 months or something, or half a month. You see, so if we are virtuous and meritorious, have a lot of merits, it's because we know how to invest money and our wealth, not to show off. Especially when we are the big companies, and some companies have tens of thousands of employees, and if the employers and the CEO know how to come back and to practice these 4 things. So when Lunar New Year comes around, they know how to sit together to plan out what is the vision to cultivate love and to embrace their employees and and I know many of us sit here, but we possess a lot of material wealth like clothing and shoes. Like a year ago, I talked about the true power of love. And we said, a monastic, I said, I have shared that our wealth is 2 long robes and 3 pairs of shorter robes. That is our possession as a monastic. But in Vietnam, it was harder, so we didn't need as much. But here, we need a little bit more because of it's colder. Now, every now and then, we look again and see what are our possessions, the clothings, and shoes and stuff. So maybe allowing us a chance to sit and do an inventory, say, do we really need? If we don't, maybe you want to collect them and give away for those who need, like for those in the remote areas that don't have enough. And that would give your Lunar New Year or your New Year more meanings and more love.
More love and more peace.
thắc mắc, nói đi tu có gặp sóng gió không? Sao thấy quý thầy, quý sư cô lúc nào cũng cười tươi,
Are you able to hear
lúc
me
nào
now?
cũng ngồi vững như
Okay.
vậy.
Do you encounter
Thì con
difficulties
xin
as
thưa thật
monastics?
sự nha,
Because I see you smile
đi
a
tu
lot.
quý thầy sóng gió
I have
nhiều
to
hơn quý
admit
sư
that
cô.
the brothers experience more storms
Con nghĩ sóng gió của sư
than
cô chỉ là
the
trong mặt
sisters.
hồ thôi. Còn sóng
The
gió quý
sisters
thầy ở ngoài
experience
biển cả mà.
storms only in the pond, but the brothers in the ocean. Do you know
Quý
why
biết
the
sao mà
brothers
sóng gió quý thầy ở
experience
biển cả
more
không?
storms?
Tại vì
Because
mình
you
có
see
gửi quý thầy
many
bị rơi
more
rồi á.
brothers
Sóng gió
disrobe.
nhiều lắm. Không biết quý sư
I don't
cô
know
kiếp trước giờ
what good merit the
tu
sisters planted in past life,
tu hành gì mà
but your monastic life, you don't experience more difficulties like the brothers. On the brothers, myself too, I also experienced a lot of difficulties and challenges. I remember
cách đây khoảng
15 years ago
15 năm
when I went to Hanoi,
con ra Hà Nội đó.
many young ladies say to me, "This monk is so young, his hair is still
Sao mà còn
black,
xanh,
and ordained like this.
tu như vậy
Maybe he's heartbroken.
tình thôi."
That's why he ordained." Some people say
Có người
this.
còn nói thế này,
Young
tuổi trẻ
youth, young people, you haven't really experienced sensual desire in life yet, and you ordained. That's a pity.
sao mà còn nhấn mạnh
That's
cái từ
such a big loss, a big, big loss. And so, as my monastic life, I have
công chứng là
witnessed many monks being persuaded by other people, come to me,
nhiều thầy
come
cũng
to
phạm
me.
cái tội như vậy đó. Nhưng mà thưa đại chúng á, khi mà
But when
tâm thương đời của mình nó bị
our
yếu,
love is eroding, our practice is weak, then right away when we hear this sentence, we are very willing to depart the monastic life. For me,
thì con
many
rất
times
nhiều lần tiếp xúc
I
với quý thầy.
experience something like this. I say, "This teacher,
Tuổi trẻ đi tu uổng quá đi
you're
tu,
young and you ordained. That's a pity.
tôi về
Come to me.
chẳng lo
Come
chi,
with me. You don't have to worry about anything. See how tempting this is?
tôi về với em,
Follow me and come with me, and you don't have to worry about anything." Just like it sounds like I would just be a prince. And this lady, she's a divorcee.
lo chết luôn á chứ.
And listen to this.
Đại chúng nghe tiếng
"Oh, come with me. Follow me. You don't have to worry about anything."
đến già đi
And
tu,
when you get older, then you're easily
phải không?
and as you get older,
Mắt nó cũng mờ đi rồi.
your hearing is no longer functioning right. Your memory is no longer good. So if we ordain as we get older, then we will have more peace. What peace?
Đến già đi tu giải thoát đi. Như vậy một
Then
đời
your whole
tu
life you don't really lose anything. This
cái lời
persuasion is very tempting. Means that you have experienced everything already in your life. You are not losing anything. You are not missing anything.
nhưng mà
But this is the response from the teacher.
tuổi trẻ đi tu
Young people
tuổi trẻ
ordaining at
vậy
young age, that's very precious. Fame, power, what do they give us?
được gì,
Are we able to hold on to them?
được không? Nợ
Fame, position, power, because all this is
tất cả
impermanent.
nắm được
How can we hold on to it? Because things
năm
fade.
tháng không mình
They fade over time.
lợi danh tài sắc nắm được gì,
Sickness,
bệnh chết
old
bất
age,
ngờ
death
chẳng hẹn.
comes unexpectedly,
Đại chúng thấy
does
không?
not give us a time, does not
Nó không bao giờ
give us an appointment that you will die on this day, you will get sick on this day. No. That is why we need to
nắm từng
use each moment to practice, to cultivate inner strength and have more meaning in life. The last sentence is
nói cuối cùng là
liberation, serving others is great. There's nothing greater than that.
con người
We are someone who are untangle all these tanglements. Then we have the ability to help others to untangle themselves. And this image is beautiful. This is the spirit of Buddha,
từ giới giác
of Buddhism. We help ourselves, we help others. There's nothing more beautiful than helping other people to suffer less. So I'd like to read to you the poem again. A young person asks, Oh, monk, at young age you ordain. What a big loss. Oh, come, follow me. You don't have to worry about anything. When you get older, you can ordain and you have more peace. With that, then with your life, you don't really miss anything. The teacher respond, young people we ordain, that's very precious. Fame, power, sensual desire, what do they give us? Illness, old age, death come unexpectedly. Liberation, serving others, nothing can be greater than that. Dear Sangha, later on, we will gather in front of the meditation hall to raise a flag. And when we raise a flag, on this flag, there is on the pole there's a flag. And this flag, the greater the flag, then it can provide greater shade, right? And so when we look at the flag, I invite you to remind yourself how can our life be a shade to protect our loved ones for this earth, not just for our country only. The shade of love, the shade of inclusivity, the shade of great insights to overcome barriers between religions, countries, so that we can look at each other as siblings in one family, like Thầy shared. We are all children of the earth. As children of Mother Earth, we are siblings. We are related. We are one family. So all the political leaders, if they know that when we sit in the greatest position of a country or of a city, then the most important thing of that person is to have a deep spiritual life. And that person must use the insights, the great love to be their own career. Why? Because when that person leads a country, this person has great love and insights, then they can see the peace and the happiness of their people is important. The peace and the happiness of our neighbors is important because that person does not want to see broken homes, collapsed buildings from happening. Because with great love and insights, they can destroy, they can remove all barriers of religions, country. They see that the happiness and the peace of other people in different countries are their own. They don't want other countries to have collapsed buildings, mothers losing their children, their husbands, their partners. So the more power that we have, then we have to have that insights and love. Then we can bring peace to the world. Thank you, dear monastics and dear Sangha, for your listening, and especially the monastics over the last few days to prepare for this day of mindfulness. Thank you so much.